are superior to you.
You look up to us.
Say the N-word.
Neither of these people should have gotten a dime.
I don't want you to invite this woman to say a racially harmful term in front of me.
It's because she's black and fat.
We have invented everything. I think that black people are superior.
Hey guys, welcome back. Today we have to talk about the Shiloh Hendrix situation because, as usual, the internet is split. Some people are celebrating, some people are angry, some people are having straight up mental breakdowns. So we're going to be looking into all of this today, but before we start, make sure you are subscribed, hit the notification bell now. Let's talk about Shiloh's fundraiser on GiveSendGo, which is kind of like GoFundMe, and her goal is $1 million. I think it's mostly a response to Austin Metcalf and the Karmelo Anthony case, where Karmelo Anthony stabbed Austin after a reported argument over a seat at a high school track meet. One is dead, and the other is being defended like he's some misunderstood hero, which is sick and twisted, because he's a killer. So then came the viral clip of Shiloh Hendrix, this white woman who was filmed at this playground calling a black child the N-word.
Did you call the word? It is not business. You call him an. Okay, why don't you have the boss to say it right now again? All right, that's what you say. Nobody dig into your shit.
A little kid just did, you dumb.
That little kid, you call him a little child?
What if he acts like one? He's gonna.
Are you about to hit him? You chase him here?
He took my son's stuff.
So that gives you the right to call the child 5-year-old the N-word.
If that's what he's gonna act.
That's what you're gonna call him.
That's what he's gonna act like.
You know that's a hate speech, and you can be the for that.
I don't give a shit.
Okay, we'll see about that. What the internet has to say about you.
She started asking for donations and is making money off of it. And look, I get the frustration that is leading to so many people to donate to her because anti-white hate is real. The double standards are exhausting. If this was some black mom at the playground and she called this white kid like a cracker or something and started hurling all these slurs, I think hardly anyone would blink an eye. However, I believe that no adult should be calling any child a slur. And we shouldn't be rewarding people on GoFundMe or GiveSendGo because they were caught actually being hateful and went viral for it. That's not activism. That's not solving racism of any kind. It's only deepening the divide. And that leads us to the meltdown on Piers Morgan. He also invited Lily Gaddis, who you may recall also went viral for saying the N-word.
Would you use the N-word out of interest?
Yes.
You would?
Mm-hmm. I do, quite frequently.
You use the N-word quite frequently. Well, why? Other than the fact you're a despicable racist. Are you?
Some would say I am. I guess according to the ADL, I'm a white supremacist. I'm a neo-Nazi.
Yeah, well, if you use the N-word repeatedly, you are a racist, then, are you?
Sure, I'll embrace that. If that means forwarding, helping white people achieve freedom of speech, real freedom of speech.
Okay, so she embraces being called a racist and claims that it's for the sake of free speech and helping white people. And I'm all for free speech. I think you can say whatever word you want. The real question is, though, should you? Especially in the case that they're talking about where a grown woman is calling a child the N-word. I don't think you are helping white people by doing that. I think you're reinforcing a stereotype that so many people nowadays say, which is that all white people are racist. I don't think you're helping anyone by throwing slurs around. I think you're just proving their point.
Political correctness, liberalism, and making sure that we are politically correct and don't use certain words could offend people is precisely why we're in the situation that we're in. We've had to literally tiptoe around saying certain things around certain people, while the other group of people has been able to have impunity and be able to be as racist as they want to be, as violent as they want to be, without any type of consequence.
You're told to constantly censor yourself only if you're white. Say the wrong thing, ask the wrong question, you're canceled. Meanwhile, people of any other race are allowed to say whatever they want with little to no consequences. And that's not equality, that's a power game. However, the solution should not be to double down on the worst possible behavior. It just adds fuel to the fire. I don't think fighting racism with more racism is gonna help.
It's this cancel culture mantra that thinks that the best way forward as a society is to cancel them rather than try to bring some redemption into the situation.
So this is the guy from GiveSendGo, and I agree, I understand where he's coming from. He said he may not agree with Shiloh completely, but she should be allowed on their platform, and he talks about redemption, not cancellation, and I agree. We shouldn't cancel people, right? People should be allowed to grow, to learn, to apologize, and then move on with their life. But this is not about redemption, it's about money. She's not sorry.
This repeated use of the word, I think, first of all, I want to just register that as offensive.
particularly someone who doesn't identify as a member of that community and who is not, right? I think that's incredibly
I'm the definition of African American.
And I think this also shows how inconsistent the rules are surrounding the N-word. How black do you have to be able to say it? What about like light-skinned black people? What counts as black enough to say this word?
When a black person says, hey, let's preserve our culture, I have no problem with Italians or Irish people or anyone else saying, let's preserve our culture. But when we don't talk about ethnicity, but actual race, and when white people say, let's preserve whiteness, it's an exclusionary practice.
I've talked about this before, but then that should apply to black people as well. I think being proud of your ethnicity makes sense. You can be proud to be Nigerian, Irish. Just being proud of your race in this vague general way feels empty. I'm proud of being Asian. I'm proud of being black. I'm proud of being white without any cultural roots. I mean, if you want to be proud of your race, fine. But if that's the case, then every race should be able to feel that way without backlash. But again, personally, I think it makes more sense to be proud about a specific culture or your heritage because there are so many ethnicities, cultures, so much history within those groups, Asian, black, white. I think we need to stop dividing by race and start uniting around shared values, right? American culture, not white culture, black culture.
I don't want to live in a country where you can say an inappropriate, rude thing, which by the way, black people can say things to white people all the time and they never get canceled. There's no backlashing about this.
I don't know why the man in the middle made that face. She's right.
You will
well, go
not
on then, say it. Say
you
the
will
M-
not have
Go on,
free
go on. Say the M word. Go on.
No.
Don't invite.
No. I don't want you to invite this woman to say a racially harmful term in front of me because I'm the only on here. So if she says it, I'm the victim of it. So please don't invite her for ratings to call me the N-word because that's basically what it's going to be. There's a bunch of white people up here. You and one Uncle Tom on the left here, and to ask her to say the N-word while I'm here is ridiculous.
What is that?
But we already know she's
I hear
racist,
you.
and I don't want to invite a racial harm to me.
I hear you, and I accept that, and we'll leave it there.
Okay, what was that crash out? She didn't even say it. And even if she said it, it's a word. That's the problem, though. You can't even discuss racism without people turning it into a personal attack. That's not healthy. That is not a normal reaction. You're letting a word control you that much. You have this emotional breakdown. That was crazy. That was so crazy. There are offensive words that you can say to white people, that you can say to gay people, to women, disabled people. Like, there are a lot of words. And they're all just words. But to have a breakdown, when you hear that word, I think people have become too sensitive. Truly. What was that? That's a grown man, by the way.
No. I don't want you to invite this woman to say a racially harmful term in front of me. If she says it, I'm the victim of it. Racial harm to me.
That's a grown man.
She tells him to off, essentially.
No, let's call it for what it is. She called him the N-word. Hard R. And no, that's not okay, nor is it acceptable. If that child was rummaging through her stuff, you could call him a piece of crap, you could call him a thief, you could call him a burglar. There's a million things you could call this individual. She specifically chose to use that word. And what's even more crazy is it was a child making these poor decisions, not an adult.
Right, I agree. You know, she could have said, wow, your child is misbehaving to the parent, right? Where's the parent? Where is the parent, by the way? But yeah, there are a bunch of things that this white woman could have said, and she chose the N-word. It's not like she was singing a song, right? And the N-word was in it, and then she sang it, and people are trying to cancel her, which has happened before, by the way, many times. That's crazy, but context matters. I don't think she just happened to say the N-word because it came to mind. It was a black kid. Completely inappropriate, especially coming from an adult.
Shiloh Hendrix has now raised more money than Karmelo Anthony. And she raised this money after calling a black individual the N-word with a hard R. That is wild. But him raising $500,000 after stabbing a white kid in the chest is also wild.
Killing him. The other is a white woman saying a slur. Come on. You can't even really compare the two, but both do represent a society that is rewarding the wrong things. Neither of these people should have gotten a dime.
This is a response to that. When white people consistently see you saying derogatory things towards them, talking about you don't care what happens to them, sending money to a black American to defend himself after he stabbed a white child in the chest, and being happy about it, what response do you expect? Everybody's gonna have their limit. If you don't want other people to be racist to you or your people, do not be racist to them and urge your people to not be racist to them.
And while this is going on, let's take a look at what else our culture is celebrating. We have this new giant statue of an obese woman in Times Square. Not because it's a specific person that accomplished anything, it's because she's black and fat.
Communicate those inner worlds that we have, and sometimes we misinterpret with one another, to try and create an understanding and basically encourage empathy.
The plus size woman, I'm a plus size man, I'm African American, it's the African American woman statue. So just seeing another piece for me to stop and just have a moment with was very powerful.
Me being a plus size black woman.
Her name is Blessing Obese.
I kind of looking at it was like, oh, I wonder what me as a small child would have thought looking at something like that. Representation.
The piece is part of a series called Grounded in the Stars, which Gene Cooney, director of Times Square Art, says confronts preconceived notions of identity and representation.
Meanwhile, statues of actual historical figures are being torn down because they're too problematic, because they're white and male. I mean, what are we replacing that with? Who is this? And what did she do? Eat? That's enough to get a statue now, I guess.
We are superior to you. You look up to us. You idolize.
I don't know about y'all, but I'm getting sick and tired of hearing that 24/7 when I go on any social media.
Same, but that's somehow okay. That's fine.
You look up to us. I think that black people are superior. We are superior. Everything that we do, we dominate it. Every little thing. Some of the best entertainers are black. Sports is full of black people. We have invented everything. Self-lubricating engine, airplanes, cell phones, everything.
No?
Everything. We are superior, and they know that. They know that, which is why they're trying to keep us down. Which is why I don't condone interracial relationships. Because you ain't doing nothing but diluting your bloodline. That's all you're doing.
So let's say this was a white person, right? Our race is superior. I don't believe in interracial marriage. You're diluting your bloodline. Buy college. Buy employment. But this is fine. This is okay.
My issue with black people is we don't know how superior we are. Like a goddess, because we are mother. We are mother. The whole world wants to be us. Whole world. Nobody's better than us. Nobody. This ain't got nothing to do with me being racist. It's just the truth. It is an honest to God truth. Which is why black men are a novelty to y'all women of other races and ethnicities. Y'all know what we got.
Everyone can have their preferences when it comes to dating, but it's odd to call other races inferior. Okay, this is not self-love, this is narcissism. You're a black supremacist, and believe it or not, I think you have a lot in common with Yahtzees, we'll say, more than you might think. We mustn't dilute our bloodline. Our blood is pure. We're so much better. We're superior. That's crazy. That's so crazy. I feel bad for white supremacists, for black supremacists, Asian supremacists, whatever's out there. If you really look down on other people simply because of their race, that sucks for you. Here's some BLM moments, some white guilt.
On this line, we were instructed that allies could come and stand on this line to remind other white people that this is a space for black people.
You know, black spaces are important and that they should be enjoyed by black people, for black people. And that's not our job to be interested in there. That's not our space. Our space is to help hold the line.
We're here to stand as a physical monument in order to represent the idea that it should be safe.
Okay, so we've got some white allies forming a human barrier to keep other white people from entering these black-only spaces. You think segregation is progressive, right? Because we do have, like, black-only dorms. People will put, like, black-owned business, right? I think all of that is weird. Buy a product if you like the product. Create clubs, gather with people based on the kind of person that they are, not race. You don't fix racial injustice by creating new forms of exclusion, of segregation. If we want real solutions, we need consistent standards. We need accountability. And to focus on shared values, not more race-based fundraising contests that only fuel division. And that's all for today's video, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Also remember to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Like, share, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye.